So I hit the live button. I'm just looking for the feed now. Oh.
Hey, it's John McCabe. Welcome to the show.
Hey, welcome to the John A. McCabe Show, where it's all about accelerating your authority in your business or field of expertise. And I do that by helping entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, experts, and speakers get seen, get heard, get noticed on any device, anywhere, anytime, with as little as 15 hours worth of effort, also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. Today's show is Business Strategy Tuesday, where I bring on guests and discuss topics and strategies I feel can help you accelerate your authority in your business or field of expertise. On today's show, my guests will share with you a strategy that not only accelerates your authority, but also attracts more of your ideal target market. For most businesses or entrepreneurs, we're always searching for new clients, always looking to grow our business, and always looking to find a way where we can leverage either our time or money when we're building our businesses. A lot of us generally attend networking events where we can prospect, hand out cards, make connections, and try to drum up business. But if you step back and think about the networking event itself, how much attention the hosts get and how most people want to talk to them or pick their brain. Now, it's very clear the majority of people at the event view the organizer as an authority in that particular topic. Now, it's actually natural that individuals generally see the event organizers or people that stand up in front of a room and speak as people who have authority in a particular topic. And for over 13 years, Meetup.com has made it very easy to start, facilitate, and grow your event, attracting like-minded individuals and people with similar interests who have a desire to get together on a regular basis to discuss their common interests. Now, for those of you not familiar with Meetup.com, it's an online social networking portal that facilitates offline group meetings in various locations around the world. Now, Meetup allows members to find and join groups unified by a common interest, such as business, politics, books, games, movies, health, pets, careers, hobbies, you name it. There's probably a topic for it. It was organized around one simple idea. When we get together and do things that matter to us, we're typically at our best. And that's what Meetup does. It brings people together to do more, explore, to teach, and learn things that will help them come alive. But what is it that makes some meetups so successful while others fail? Now, why do some gatherings fill up every single time while others only have a couple of people attending? Well, that's something my guest today will shed some light on. He has cracked the Meetup code and knows what it takes to create a successful Meetup group and how you can use it to position yourself as the authority in your marketplace, attract more of your ideal target market, and get more paying clients. So don't go away, because when I return, I'm going to be joined by my guest today, Jimmie Jayes. Hey, thanks for joining me on today's show, Business Strategy Tuesday, where we talk to various guests about strategies that can help you accelerate your authority in your business or field of expertise. Now, I'm pleased to have Jimmie Jayes on the show today. Jimmie and I met back in 2009 when we were introduced by a mutual friend. Jimmie was involved in some real estate investing at the time, along with an MLM and some other ventures that we'll get into a little bit later on. Now, anyone who has ever joined or belonged to an MLM knows just how hard it is to attract and recruit prospects for your business. Well, in actuality, it's really no different than any other type of business. Most business owners and entrepreneurs are constantly looking to fill their lead funnel with new prospects that they can convert into paying clients. Now, one of the things that makes Jimmie so special is that he took a very unique approach to a problem that was being experienced by most business owners, entrepreneurs, and MLMers alike. How do I find and attract more of my ideal target market? How do I stop wasting time on people who aren't going to be interested in my products and services and focus my efforts on people who are actually interested and really serious? And that's just what Jimmie did. He started a meetup group that focused on playing Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow game. Now, because Jimmie knew they were people who wanted more out of life, they were searching for ways to get out of the rat race, and Jimmie had some solutions that could help them achieve their desired outcome. Now, over the past several years, Jimmie perfected his strategy and now teaches it to other entrepreneurs looking to build and grow their authority, their business, and their bottom line. So please give it up with likes, love, shares, and a virtual flurry of thumbs ups and heart icons across the screen for my guest today, Jimmie Jayes. Welcome, Jimmie.
Thank you very much.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Excellent, excellent. So life in BC is treating you well. Jimmie, for anyone that doesn't know Jimmie, he lived in Edmonton for quite some time, and he just transitioned into BC, the Chilliwack area, and we were actually discussing offline about how nice it is there compared to the weather here in Edmonton right at the moment, where it's cold and dark on a regular basis. Well, you know what it's like here in Edmonton, Jimmie.
Yeah, there's time freedom, money freedom, and location freedom, and it is definitely fantastic to have location freedom.
Oh, for sure. I think that's one of the reasons why I end up taking a lot of vacations in the wintertime when living in Edmonton. And one of these days, I keep asking myself, why do I actually live in this city when I could do what I do primarily from anywhere around the world? But for whatever reason, I just haven't left my comfort zone. And that's really what it boils down to, is leaving your comfort zone when you're looking to make a move like that. So Jimmie, I don't know if you watched the show before, but the first thing we like to do before we get too far into the interview is a speed round of questions. That's nothing you have to study for. Don't worry, you're not going to be graded. There's no test at the end. It's just so the viewers get a sense of who you are. They get to know a little bit more about you personally as well as professionally. So just say what comes to your mind in a few sentences. And for all you people watching at home, just play along with us. Just when I ask the question, just type your answer in the comment field. And at the end, we'll just take a look to see what everyone had to say. So you all set, Jimmie?
I am.
All right. So name the book that impacted your life the most.
Without question, it was the first book that I read cover to cover, which is Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Excellent. I think that's that one, along with Napoleon Hill's book and the Bible. Those are the top three books that entrepreneurs and people that I have on the show mention are Kiyosaki's book and the Bible and Napoleon Hill's. So when you were a young boy, who was your celebrity crush?
That would have to be Jennifer Aniston.
Nice. What is either a book, a podcast show, or an actual show that you're into right now?
Book that I'm reading right now is called Simplify, and it's by Richard Koch, and it is all about how to be either a proposition simplifier or a price simplifier in your business, and it's great if you're a business owner. It's also great if you're an investor.
Excellent. Do you currently work with any coaches?
Absolutely, and the person who I follow the most closely, his name is Tim Francis at ProfitFactory.com.
Excellent. What is your favorite movie of all time?
I have to say Dirty Work. It's an oldie, but a goodie.
Okay. And are you currently involved in any masterminds?
Yeah, I guess there's an event that I go to once every quarter called the 80-20 Summit. So that would probably be a mastermind.
Excellent. And name a person, either dead or alive, who you'd most like to meet and have dinner with.
I'd probably say any of the founding fathers of the U.S., even though I'm a Canadian. I just love the thought process and how they've created a document in the Constitution that has lasted this long, and there's just so much wisdom in there. So any of the founding fathers.
Nice. And what's your favorite type of vacation? Is it a beach vacation or adventure tour?
I think I do. I think I do both. I think I split my vacation into half the time doing nothing and reading and just unplugging, and half the time I'm doing something crazy.
Very nice. What's the best business advice you ever received?
Best business advice I've ever received. I think probably the best business advice I've ever received is somebody said that poor people think week to week, middle class people think month to month, rich people think year to year, and the ultra wealthy think decade to decade. So trying to stretch my vision out for how long I'm looking into the future, and when I do that, the like ups and downs of entrepreneurship don't get me as much when I'm thinking about, how is this going to affect me in 10 years from now or a year from now.
Very nice. And the last question is a two-parter. Now this is which of these is your favorite, not what you consume on a regular basis. So if you're going to treat yourself, which of these is your favorite? Water, beer, or wine? Pizza, wings, or salad?
I got to go with beer and wings. That's a good night.
Excellent. Beer and wings is definitely a good night. So everyone give Jimmie some love by hitting that like button, love button. And please make sure that you share this on your Facebook feed and any business pages that you belong to. And as well, just leave your comments on in the comment section. If you have any specific questions you'd like me to ask during the show, definitely just put them in the comment section. I'll try to get to them during the show. And if I can't get to them during the show and ask Jimmie, then what we'll do is we'll just tag either Jimmie or myself in the question, and we'll try to answer them after the show has already been aired. Or if you're watching this on the replay, definitely just type the question in the comment field and just tag either Jimmie or myself, and we'll get you the answer in a short time. And I just want to welcome Ryan Grant and Heather Morrow to the show. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you're just joining us, just lost my spot. If you're just joining us, I'm speaking with Jimmie Jayes. Jimmie is known as the highest paid meetup organizer and consultant on the planet, exclusively serving the MLM industry. He's the creator of Meetup Marketer, the A to Z guide to leveraging recruiting on Meetup by positioning yourself as a local trusted authority so you can attract more of your ideal target market, which generally leads to more business. Now, Jimmie believes that as soon as you learn to create an unlimited source of prospects, your business and income are determined only by you and your work ethic. Jimmie shows people how to use Meetup to create a residual stream of prospects so you can hit your goals, get predictable results, and have prospects chasing you. Now, for the past 11 years, Jimmie has been using Meetup to meet his perfect prospect, creating a multiple six-figure income in network marketing, and now helps others who hate chasing people or cold market prospecting, trying to get leads and clients through an online course showing them the A to Z of how to create a Meetup funnel that will bring you a bunch of your ideal target market prospects 90% cheaper than Facebook ads. So like I said, if you have any questions, just type them in the comment field and we'll try to get to them during the show. And if not, we'll answer them after the show has already been aired. And as always, make sure that you like, love, and share this on your Facebook feed. So Jimmie, just in the next 90 seconds or so, I gave you a great intro, but maybe if you can touch a little bit more on your origin story, just give people some more background, a little bit more about you.
Yeah, sure. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad at 21, played the cash flow board game for the first time at 22, and was fortunate enough to quit my job at 23 from some passive income investments that I got into, simply because my expenses were really low as a young man. And then from there, I started into doing some network marketing, and went out and did the traditional thing of recruiting friends and family. And I think I recruited like 5 people and then all quit. And that was confusing to me because when somebody drew out the plan on a whiteboard, they didn't ever cross out any of the circles and tell me people quit. So that was disappointing. Yeah. And in that process, I ended up creating a meetup group around the cash flow board game. And long story short, after creating that group and meeting a bunch of people who already thought like entrepreneurs, when I got back into a network marketing company and got started, I was able to recruit 25 people in 21 days and become a top earner in that company in a relatively short period of time. And it was really because I got in front of the right people, and a bunch of them, by using Meetup.
Excellent. So I read that when you started out as an entrepreneur, you had 3 different businesses, multiple investments in the first 5 years. What were some of the biggest lessons you learned in those early years?
I think that in the early years, what I realized is I remember specifically reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and thinking to myself, if there's any one thing that I can do to not have to have a job for the rest of my life, just let me know what it is and I'll do it. And so when I read that book for the first time, it was so exciting that it was the first time anyone ever said to me, you don't have to have a job. Mm-hmm. And from there, that book introduced me to the cash flow game, to a bunch of other people, and to a bunch of different ways of thinking, to where I realized that there was like so many different ways out there to create passive income. And the next phase for me was kind of like a bit of overwhelm, where I was like, holy smokes, look at how many things there are out there that I have to learn to create passive income. And it was really overwhelming that I had to get good at so many things. I felt like I really I felt like I was back in school all over again, and I had so much to learn. And then my third phase was realizing that I didn't actually have to be great at all of them. I just had to find one thing, one asset class that I enjoyed and that I was good at. And that literally, if I just got good in one of those asset classes, that I could make more money than I could ever spend just in one of those, asset classes. So I think that was kind of the process that I went through in the early years, was going from, not knowing there was another way, and going from, go to school, get good grades, get a safe, secure job, to if there's any one way, let me know what it is and I'll do it, to overwhelm. And then stage 4 was like, I only have to get good at one of these things.
So what was the biggest shift that you had in your mindset that you attributed your success to? So during that time frame, what shifted your mindset?
Well, I'll give the viewers here a little picture of that. So this is kind of, in a nutshell, the process that I went through. So hopefully you can see this, but I learned this from the cash flow game, and it's basically...
Just a sec, Jimmy. I think you just shared your screen with me, and it just wiped out. Okay, so we're good. Sorry, it just wiped out my laptop. Is like, where did my production screen go? But you just covered it up a little bit. But we're good. People can see it. People can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So this I learned, over 10 years of failures. But basically, what I learned, number one, is figuring out what your dream is, and what that thing is that you're willing to go to work for. For me, I grew up in a family with a single mom, and she worked part-time rather than full-time so that she could be around more. And I don't know what my life would be like if she wasn't around, but I can tell you that it would be different. So I watched my mom go through that path and choose time over money. And so my dream is to be able to be that type of parent, to my kids, and also be in a point where I've got the passive income to not have to worry about money. Right. And my secondary goal is to help other parents who have the same ambition to be able to raise their own children, that they have a choice to go to work or not, because they know another way. So number one is select your dream, whatever that is. The dream is going to be the thing that stays constant regardless of what path you use. The second part is income statement and balance sheet. And that is, if you ever played the cash flow game, it's just your income and your expenses, your assets and your liabilities. And something that Kiyosaki said is, it's not how much money you make, it's how much money you keep, how hard that money works for you, and how many generations you keep it for. So the biggest mistake I see new entrepreneurs make is they're so infatuated with, how much money do I make? Am I a 6-figure earner? Am I a 7-figure earner? I don't care how much money you make. How much money do you keep? How hard does it work for you, and how many generations do you keep it for? So second step is you want to start tracking where that's happening. The third step, I call it experiential learning. And so whereas some people like to research and read books and think and learn that way, the way that I best operate is by taking action. And so I try to find ways that I can experience what it's actually going to be like to be in an asset class without having too much risk. So, try a bunch of different things, but do it in a way where it's not, you're not going to go bankrupt if you make a mistake.
Right.
Level 4 is get focused. So once you've tried a few different things, then figure out which one of these asset classes you want to be in and really start to focus. And once you've done that, then level 5 and level 6 are called level up, double down. And this is a circle. So it's not that you get to level 6 and you're done. You're always level 5, level 6 in it. So you're leveling up, finding a mentor, putting in lots of low risk reps, hiring a coach, getting specific skill set training, whatever, and then double down. So start scaling, getting more leverage. And it's just this constant circle of taking more training and then, doubling down what you're putting in.
On all of that, though, I'm quite sure that I read somewhere that when you had those 3 different businesses or whatever, one of the biggest things that changed shifted your income and shifted within your mindset was your focus. That you were actually focusing on one specific thing versus trying to be everything to everybody.
Yeah, so that would be step number 4. So step number 3 was trying a bunch of different things. So that was my phases when I was, trying a few different things was my experiential learning. And then step number 4 is get focused. So that's where, if anybody's struggling with getting focused, there's a great book called Essentialism. And he calls it straddling when you're trying to do 2 things at once. It's called straddling, and it means that you're not putting your full focus onto any one direction. And listen, your competition, the people that are fighting against you for the same customers, they're focused. Yeah. And so some people are like, should I work harder or work smarter? You got to work harder and smarter because that's what your competition is doing, and they're focused. If you're splitting your focus onto 2 different things and your competition is only focused on one thing, they're going to cream you. So that's where before you start doubling down, you better be focused.
Excellent. And if you guys are just joining us, I'm speaking with Jimmie Jayes. Jimmie's known as the highest paid meetup organizer and consultant on the planet, exclusively serving the MLM industry. He's a creator of Meetup Marketer, the A to Z guide to leveraging recruiting on Meetup by positioning you as a local trusted authority so you can attract more of your ideal target market, which generally leads to more business. Now, Jimmie believes as soon as you learn to create an unlimited source of prospects, your business and your income are determined only by you and your work ethic. Jimmie shows people how to use Meetup to create a residual stream of prospects so you can hit your goals, get predictable results, and have prospects chasing you. Now, for the past 11 years, Jimmie's been using Meetup to meet his perfect prospect, create a multiple 6-figure income in network marketing, and now helps others who hate chasing people and cold marketing, prospecting, trying to get leads and clients through his online course on how to create a Meetup funnel that will bring a bunch of your ideal target market prospects 90% cheaper than Facebook ads. So if you have any questions or comments, just type them in the chat and we'll try to get to them during the show. I just want to welcome Jeff Samus, Paul Eichland, and Roberto is joining us as well. And let's see if I should have my reading glasses on. Roberto left a comment here. Well, actually, it's a very long one, and we'll actually get to it afterwards. So, but thanks everybody for joining us. And if you have any specific questions, just type them in the Facebook comment, and we'll try to get to them during the show. And if we can't answer them on the show, or if they're a little bit too long to actually read through, then we'll get to them at the end of the show. Just tag either Jimmie or myself. So Jimmie, you started focusing all of your efforts into an MLM. Now, for anyone who's actually been involved in one, the recruiting is always the biggest challenge. Can you tell us how you came up with the idea of using meetup.com?
Yeah, I wish I could say that it was some stroke of brilliance, but what happened was I was in a network marketing company and I was grinding out the kind of traditional way of building, talking to friends and family. And in the process, the short version of the story is that the company had a big fight with some of the top leaders, and the top leaders left, and they had to stay out. They had a 7-month non-compete where they could not be in business. And I decided to follow that leader. And I didn't really have a non-compete, but if I wanted to continue to be in business with him, I had to sit out of the industry for 7 months. So for a 7-month period, I knew that I was getting back into MLM. I knew that I wanted to meet other entrepreneurs, but I literally couldn't sell them because I had no business to sell them into. Okay. And it seemed like the worst thing in the world at the time. But in hindsight, it was the best thing on the planet because it allowed me to stop focusing on closing people, and it allowed me to focus instead on building relationships and just finding my ideal prospect. And so I had been playing the cash flow board game and enjoying that, and I ended up turning that into a meetup group, and I just met a lot of people, and I just built relationships with them and focused on how I could serve them. And rather than having the typical MLM ideology of, hey, I'm going to take everybody that I meet and convince them why they should stop doing what they're doing and start doing what I'm doing, instead of that, I used the cash flow game and met a bunch of people. And what generally happened was people who played cash flow either wanted to be in business, real estate, or the stock market. So people who wanted to go into real estate, I just directed them somewhere where they could learn about the real estate. If they wanted to be in the stock market, did the same thing. If they wanted to be in business, then they were prospects for me. And so for a 7-month period, I just met a bunch of friends and played the cash flow game. And when it was time to go back into business 7 months later, it was just a matter of, I think I made 42 phone calls. And of those 42 phone calls of people who came to cash flow the most number of times, 100% of them agreed to sit down for a presentation. 100% of them actually showed up and they said they were going to. And I think 25 of them ended up getting started in a 21-day period.
Nice.
And that was it. So I wish it was, a real smart plan that I put together, but it just kind of fell in my lap. And since then, I've refined it a bit.
Excellent. And so how long were you using the Meetup? So you actually were using Meetup prior to getting into the MLM. So you, when you actually get into the MLM, you saw immediate results because of the relationships you built up over time. And that's one of the comments Barry Schimmel has to say is you actually focus on building relationships, not trying to sell people on stuff, which is a very important lesson I think a lot of people need to learn, especially at networking events. Everyone's there trying to sell you on their stuff as opposed to actually building a relationship with a few key people and then fostering those relationships, what a lot of people end up doing. And I'm sure that you've witnessed this, Jimmy. You go to a networking event, it's like, how many cards can I hand out?
Yeah, the Carlson card slinger is what I call that.
So you had, so you were fortunate that you built those relationships. And so when you started back into the MLM, you did great the first month, getting the 25 people in 21 days. So were you getting similar results after you got back into the MLM, after you that first core group of people that you'd built the relationships? Did you continue on from there?
So the first time I did not. The first time I went through that process and enrolled a bunch of people and started working with them and started crushing through some ranks. And I actually gave my meetup group away, if you can believe that. I was like, I don't have time to do this. I'm going to be a millionaire soon in network marketing. For a period of time, I literally didn't have time to prospect people because I was working in depth with people on my team. And then when it came time to start recruiting again, I did what the network marketing company told me, which is to go out and talk to people one at a time and talk to the person beside you on an airplane or the barista at a Starbucks or whatever. And that's when I started hating my life in network marketing again. And so to answer how long the process takes, it really is about focusing on building a relationship with somebody. And beyond building a relationship with them, I would say what you want to do is you want to add value to somebody's life. And the more you can focus on that, the more success you're going to have. And the thing that I don't like about a networking event is I've never gone to a networking event because I wanted to buy other people's stuff. Right? I've gone to a networking event because I want to meet people to sell my stuff to. Mm-hmm. So when you think about that, it's just a group of a bunch of people who are all going there to sell, not going there to buy.
Right.
So I love the idea of Meetup because Meetup is all about doing. And so when you have a Meetup group, you create a group that becomes like your lead magnet for those online marketers out there. Meetup is like a big lead magnet where you're giving something away for free in exchange for their email address or phone number or whatever. So that's really how I use Meetup as a way to just add a bunch of value to people and solve some problems if I can, and doing that in person with them.
Excellent. And if you guys are just joining us, I'm speaking with Jimmie Jayes. Jimmy's known as the highest paid meetup organizer and consultant on the planet, exclusively servicing the MLM industry. He's creator of Meetup Marketer, the A to Z guide to leveraging recruiting on Meetup by positioning you as a local trusted authority so you can attract more of your ideal target market, which generally leads to more business. Now, Jimmie believes as soon as you learn to create an unlimited source of prospects, your business and income are determined only by you and your work ethic. Now, Jimmie shows people how to use Meetup to create a residual stream of prospects so you can hit your goals, get predictable results, and have prospects chasing you. Now, for the past 11 years, Jimmie's been using Meetup to meet his perfect prospect, created a multiple six-figure income in network marketing, and now helps others who hate chasing people or cold markets prospecting, trying to get leads and clients through an online course showing them A to Z how to create a Meetup funnel that will bring them a bunch of their ideal target market prospects 90% cheaper than Facebook ads. So if you have any questions or comments, just type them in the Facebook comment section, and we'll try to get to them during the show. And as always, please like, love, share this video on your Facebook feed and with all the Facebook pages that you monitor. And I just wanted to officially welcome Barry to the show. And like I mentioned earlier, Barry's comment was you hit the bullseye, building relationships, not selling people. And I think which is key when you're going to these networking events or when you're creating a meetup group, because the meetup is primarily everyone's there for a specific common interest. It's not, yes, it's a networking event, but people are there typically to learn about a specific topic, or they have a specific interest. So, and one thing that you mentioned that to me off camera, that there's a lot of people that were working a lot harder than you were in the business, but not getting the results. So do you attribute your success to Meetup and how you're able to actually leverage its platform? Is that what you attribute a lot of your success to?
Yeah, I absolutely do. And what I would say, if you can see my screen here,
yep.
This is what I call the recruiting quadrant. And it basically explains whether you're a network marketing or any type of a business where you have a product going to an end user. Mm-hmm. Basically, there's 4 quadrants you can be in. So either you're talking to people one-to-one or you're talking to people one-to-many. And then the other axis is either you're taking what I call the chasing positioning, or you're taking what I call the authority positioning, where you're being trusted authority. So the difference is either people are chasing you or you're chasing them. Those are the only 2 options. Okay. So the one-to-one chasing quadrant, I call the grind. The next one is one-to-many chasing, which I call vendor. Then there's busy professional, which is trusted authority one-to-one. And one-to-many trusted authority is the star quadrant. And the funny thing is especially inside of network marketing, there's a ton of different trainings on how to do things, but really they're all different ways of doing the same thing, which is operating in the grind. So chasing people one at a time. So whether it's Facebook messaging strangers, whether it's buying leads, whether it's the 3-foot rule where you're, asking people if they keep their income options open when they sit beside you on an airplane or make your coffee or stand behind you at a Walmart. They're all different ways of chasing. And I nicknamed this the desperation quadrant because when you're operating here and chasing people one at a time, they start to treat you like you're a desperate network marketer.
Yeah.
The second one is
actually,
where you're doing...
it's not, sorry to interrupt, but it's not even network marketing. It's actually any business. Yep. You could be any entrepreneur, business owner. These 4 quadrants apply to I'm looking at it, this applies to every single business. And if you're out there chasing business, doing that one-to-one, it doesn't matter if you're network marketing or you're selling consulting services or you're building websites, or it really doesn't matter. You're selling paint. That one-to-one is going to be a grind. It's going to be a nightmare in building and growing your business. Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to make it clear for the audience that this is not specific to MLM. This is really effective and great insight to just about any business. So all the people watching the show are typically entrepreneurs and business owners. This is great information for every business. So sorry, Jimmie, just continue on.
Fully agree. Any business where you have an end user that you're going after, you're going to put yourself into one of these 4 quadrants. So the next one is vendor, and this is one-to-many. So you're getting some leverage, but you're still taking that chasing positioning. So this would be like if you were, Facebook spamming people in groups rather than one at a time. What you talked about earlier about handing out business cards. So if you're going to a networking event and you're the card slinger handing out your business card, at least you're getting leverage, right? At least you're not meeting people one at a time and you can, throw out 50 business cards in an hour, but you're still having that chasing mentality. People still, it's like you're chasing them. Another example of this would be a trade show. So you go to somewhere where there's a bunch of people that are in your target market and you plop a booth in the middle of it and you try to, chase people down. And this quadrant, you're going to make a lot more money than the desperation quadrant because you're getting leverage sales. So you're getting in front of groups of people at once. Unfortunately, you're still in the chasing quadrant. So, people aren't going to give you the respect that you deserve, and they're just going to look at you as just another salesperson. So you're going to make more money, but you're going to be just another sales guy. The next one is busy pro. And so this would be like if you got a great referral. So if you're part of a BNI group and somebody gave you just a perfect referral, that would be an example of this. Yeah. Another example of trusted authority would be just if there was somebody that really talked up your business or your services. If you're a real estate agent and somebody just gave you like an ideal referral and they already knew who you were. If you're a network marketing, example of this would be like a three-way call. If you're the upline and you're doing a three-way call and you've got on the phone with you somebody in your downline and one of their prospects, and your downline has edified you properly, then the person on the call is going to give you the trust and authority that that you deserve, and they're going to treat you with respect. You're going to have a way higher closing percentage, and it's just going to be a more enjoyable process. Yeah. The downside of this quadrant is that you're still working one-on-one. So you've got the same, again, regardless of the business you're in, you're going to have the same experience or lifestyle as any other busy pro, whether they're a surgeon or whether they're a top of the line real estate agent. They get treated with the respect that they deserve. They make a decent amount of money, but they got a phone that's like tied to their hip. And when it rings, they have to answer it because they're not getting any leverage. They're doing everything one-to-one. And so even though they're getting the respect that they deserve and higher closing rates, they don't have leverage. So in this quadrant, you're important, but you're not free. Yeah. And the last quadrant is what I call the star quadrant. And the star quadrant is where you've got that one to many factor and you're a trusted authority. So an example of this would be like if you had a best-selling book, right? As soon as you do that, your book gets into multiple people's hands, regardless of, it's not one-to-one anymore. And as soon as your book becomes best-selling and you become a best-selling author, you've got the clout and the authority that comes with being a best-selling author. Another example of this, if you do it properly, is Facebook ads. So if you add value and you're driving Facebook ads properly, you've got that one-to-many leverage, and you can position yourself as an authority where people are chasing you. Another example of this would be if you were like speaking on stage at an event of yours to a couple hundred or a couple thousand people. It's trusted authority and it's one-to-many. So it's the star quadrant. And becoming a meetup organizer, in my opinion, is the absolute best way for you to break into the star quadrant. So if you don't have a best-selling book, and if you're don't have a couple $1,000s a month for Facebook ads and the time to learn about testing and split testing and targeting and retargeting, then Meetup is absolutely the easiest way for you to break into this quadrant. It's called the mass influence quadrant. And, you're not going to have the same world-renowned name that you have if you were a best-selling author. But I'll tell you what, if you do Meetup right, you will absolutely become just a local celebrity in your market. And it's not going to cost you a couple $1,000s a month on ad spend. Mm-hmm. Meetup is $20 a month. And all the examples that we'll show you later on here, they all came from a $20 a month ad budget and a couple hours a month of putting some time in.
So when did you decide, Jimmie, that there was an actual market for this information and start actually delivering it or teaching it to other people?
Yeah, so in my network marketing company, I became a part of a group. And that group was like some daily accountability, and we'd get on a call every day and say, hey, here's how many people I talked to today. And most people were talking to like 5 strangers a day. And I'd get onto the phone daily and be like, yeah, I didn't talk to anybody today. Yeah, I didn't talk to anybody today. And I was just like, I was reading books and I was trying to figure out how can I be more consistent? How can I just develop discipline? And I just thought that I was just, terrible in that area. And then what would happen would be the end of the month would come along, and everyone else had done significantly better than me. And I had talked to nobody throughout the month, except that I had 30 entrepreneurs that came to my house to play cash flow, who all came to me and looked at me as an authority. And what happened was, after a few months of this, I was trying to develop the discipline to start talking to more strangers and doing all the stuff that they were trying to teach me. And what I realized was I was getting better results than the people who were talking to 5 strangers a day. And that's when I really started to see the results that were coming from having a targeted prospect that was coming to me. So once I went through that, I realized, man, rather than developing discipline and rather than trying to figure out how to talk to more people one at a time, I should really just get more leverage and take this meetup thing to the next level, and do something that I enjoy while meeting prospects that are chasing me. So that was kind of the turning point for me, was when I saw when I saw that my results were better than other people's who were working way harder than me, who had way more discipline than me. I realized, man, this is something that I should be teaching to other people.
Yeah, and it really is not about how many people that you talk to. It's really you had a much higher conversion rate. You might have talked to a lot less people, but your conversion rate was much higher, which means that your prospects were targeted that much better. I mean, as opposed to just talking to Sally on the street. I mean, these people were actually interested in pursuing something along the lines of what you were doing. So you had targeted prospects, you had a higher closing ratio, and you didn't have to work nearly as hard as a lot of these people. So I can't see a downside to any of that, actually.
Me neither.
So if you guys are just joining us, I'm speaking with Jimmie Jayes. Jimmie is known as the highest paid meetup organizer and consultant on the planet, exclusively servicing the MLM industry. He's the creator of Meetup Marketer, the A to Z guide to leveraging recruiting on Meetup by positioning you as a local trusted authority so you can attract more of your ideal target market, which generally leads to more business. Now, Jimmie believes that as soon as you create an unlimited source of prospects, your business and your income are determined only by you and your work ethic. Jimmie shows people how to use Meetup to create a residual stream of prospects so you can hit your goals, get predictable results, and have prospects chasing you. Now, for the past 11 years, Jimmie's been using Meetup to meet his perfect prospect, create a multiple 6-figure a year income in network marketing, and help others who hate chasing people or cold market prospecting, trying to get leads and clients through an online course showing them A to Z how to create a meetup funnel that will bring them a bunch of their ideal target market prospects 90% cheaper than Facebook ads. So if you have any questions or comments, just type them in the chat. I want to welcome Charlie and Nobby to the show. Welcome, guys. And as always, make sure you like, love, share this video feed on your Facebook as well as any business pages that you belong to. And just type your questions in the comment section. We'll get to them during the show. If we can't get to them during the show, we'll answer them after the show. Just tag one of us in the question. So Jimmie, you made your mark in the MLM business, but I'm quite confident that this strategy will work in any industry, right?
Absolutely. And
you've been working with some people in different industries. Can you just talk a little bit about those?
Yeah. So really, Meetup is just a site that is designed to help people do more of what they love. So I've helped lots of different people in different industries. So some MLM examples of that would be somebody in a travel company. I've helped somebody create a group that's got 3,800 members in it now after a few years. That is called Edmonton Single Travelers Meetup. If you're in a fitness industry, whether you're a personal trainer or a network marketer or have any type of a fitness business, I've helped somebody create a meetup group that's called Lose Weight, Get Fit, Have Fun. And over the last year and about a half, her name is Kat. She's created 2 meetup groups that both have about 2,800 people in them. So even if 1% of those people convert, she's still in great shape. I've helped people in the real estate industry, whether they're looking to raise capital or whether they're looking to sell courses or coaching of their own. I've helped them create meetup groups where they're meeting people that want to become into the real estate game. And I've helped somebody in California create a group. He sells solar for a living, and he created a meetup group and used it just to meet more like-minded people. So you can have your meetup group be directly related to whatever it is that you do. or not. Is the main point is that you're the person at the front of the room, and that it's about something that you enjoy. Because if you're doing something in your meetup group that is fun to you, that you enjoy, you're not going to procrastinate, because we don't procrastinate things that we love doing.
Yeah.
And B, it's not any extra time into your day. Right. So if you love fitness, for instance, and you have a fitness meetup group, and normally you'd go and work out, for an hour, well, it'll take you an hour and 15 minutes, to host a meetup group. You've got an extra 15 minutes to do some, registration forms and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's going to take you a very small amount of time, because the bulk of your time will just be hosting events, and the events will be stuff that you were going to do anyways.
So most of the people that you help out, Jimmie, how often do they hold their events? Is it monthly, weekly?
So probably you're looking at a minimum of once a month. Personally, I hold one event a month. But really it's up to you. The more time that you're going to put into it, the more output that you're going to get. So my friend who has the fitness group, they usually do one or two things per week. But again, it's not additional time out of her schedule, because she was going to work out that often anyways. For me, I host one event a month. It takes me probably 3 hours. And in that 3 hours, by the end of it, I have a stack of forms that I have people fill out, where they answer some yes and no questions, and they literally overtly give me permission to contact them afterwards, where they're asking me for help in one area. So there's a few different ways that you can do that. One way is, at the end of each event, you have a stack of forms of people that say that they want what you have. You can call them back and talk to them one at a time. Personally, I like to do more of a launch style. So I'll collect forms for a few months in a row, and then from there I'll do a launch. So an example of that would be, let's say you had a cash flow club and you were looking for investors. You could have a question on your form that said, I'd like to invest in real estate. Please let me know the next time you have a property available. And I would literally just build this list, this database of buyers in an email list. And then as soon as I had a property, I could just send one email to that whole list. And now all of a sudden I have a waiting list of people who want to buy properties from me. If I was in a network marketing company with a weight loss type product, I could call people back immediately after the workout event, and I could, sell them whatever it is that I do. But personally, what I would prefer to do is I would say, please let me know when your next 90-day challenge is. And, 4 times a year, I would just send an email out, and I would, recruit 30 people all at once. And I would do that a couple times a year. And then the rest of the year, I just would focus on building relationships rather than trying to recruit people.
And is the majority of what you teach people all targeted through meetup.com, or are you teaching them other strategies outside of Meetup to attract people to your actual Meetup?
Everything that I show is within Meetup. So what I would say is, overall, you just want to move yourself from the grind quadrant to the start quadrant, however you want to do that. If that's writing a best-selling book, do that. If that's Facebook ads, do that. The reason that I teach Meetup is because it's the lowest barrier of entry to somebody who is in the grind quadrant, who's tired of chasing people one at a time, and they want some leverage. So everything that I teach in my webinars and things like that is how to leverage Meetup. And the thing is, on Meetup, for those of you who aren't familiar with the platform, Meetup is like a little bit similar to Facebook. But if you can imagine that if you were on Facebook, if you clicked like on like a band or something like that on their fan page, if Facebook would then send you an email every time that band came out with a new album. That's how Meetup works. So on Meetup, when you join as just a regular person on Meetup, they ask you what your interests are. And then every time a Meetup group is created that matches one of your interests, they send you an email and say, hey, here's this group that you might be interested in. So what that means is, right now, there's already an existing database of people on Meetup who have already said, I'm interested in real estate investing. I'm interested in personal development. I'm interested in weight loss. I'm interested in women's weight loss. Whatever it is that your target market is, there's people that have already self-identified as, if there's a group that comes with that topic, let me know. So as soon as you create your meetup group, Meetup is going to send an email to everyone in your city who matches any one of those tags, and you're going to get in front of that existing audience who's already there. On top of that, Meetup has great SEO ranking. So if you type in, get fit, lose weight, have fun, Edmonton, the first thing that comes up is Kat's Meetup group. If you type in lose weight, have fun, get fit, lose weight, any combination of those words, the first thing that comes up is Kat's Meetup group, which I don't know how much it would cost her to rank that, under the lose weight terms. But she does that for $20 a month. When you type in cash flow Edmonton or cash flow club Edmonton, the two top things that come up, one is fast track to cash flow, which has a multi-million-dollar income and budget. The second one is my meetup group, which again is $20 a month. So Meetup, I think, is just the simplest path for somebody, the lowest barrier of entry to somebody to get into the star quadrant. And so that's exclusively what I teach.
Excellent. If you guys are just joining me, I'm speaking with Jimmie Jayes. Jimmie's known as the highest paid meetup organizer and consultant on the planet, exclusively servicing the MLM industry. He's the creator of Meetup Marketer, the A to Z guide to leveraging recruiting on Meetup by positioning you as a local trusted authority so you can attract more of your ideal target market, which generally leads to more business. Now, Jimmie believes as soon as you learn to create an unlimited source of prospects, your business and income are only determined by you and your work ethic. Jimmie shows people how to use Meetup to create a residual stream of prospects so you can hit your goals and get predictable results and have prospects chasing you. Now, for the past 11 years, Jimmie has been using Meetup to meet his perfect prospect, created a multiple six-figure income in network marketing, and now helps others who hate chasing people or cold market prospecting, trying to get leads and clients through an online course showing them how to create a Meetup funnel that will bring them a bunch of their ideal target market prospects 90% cheaper than Facebook ads. So if you have any questions or comments, just type them in the chat and we'll try to get to them during the show. And as always, make sure you like, love, and share this video feed with all your friends on Facebook, as well as any business pages that you belong to or groups that you're associated with. So Jimmie, can you share with us a few tips on how someone can get started using Meetup to generate more leads?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you some tips, and I'll use an example. So I'm kind of visual, so I'll give it to you visually. If this is Meetup, we're going to create a Meetup funnel for you. That's your intention. And there's three parts of your funnel. The first part is your Meetup group. The second part is what's called value events, which is what you're doing at your Meetup event. And the third thing is your form, and this is where people fill out. They give you all their information, their name, email address, phone number. If you have any additional questions you want to ask them. So in a fitness group, I might say on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your fitness? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your nutrition? On a real estate form, I might say something like, I'd like to actively invest. Let me know about any real estate courses that are coming up. And then the second one that says, I'd like to passively invest. Let me know about any, real estate investments that you have coming up. So you create this form to allow people to start chasing you rather than you chasing them. From there, Meetup has their current subscribers, which I told you about, that they dump in. There's also people that search on Meetup, just like on Google. And then there's Google itself. So Meetup and Google dump people into the top of this funnel for you. And out of the bottom comes your perfect prospect. So that's kind of the high end level of what happens. Now, at the group level, you don't do any selling. At the value event level, you don't do any selling. It's not until somebody fills out what I call their interest form, and this is where they segment themselves and give you permission to talk to them. And as soon as they do that, now they are chasing you rather than you chasing them. So my tip when it comes to Meetup is no selling at the group level, no selling at the event level. Let somebody fill out one of these forms, and that way they're chasing you. And if you're in any business where you're used to being in the grind quadrant where you're chasing people one at a time, the idea of like not selling is like, mind blowing. Like, why? I've got them there. Why wouldn't I just pitch them right now? Yeah. The reason is you want to add a ton of value and you want to create something that's a social experience for them. And the more value they get, the more they're going to come back, the more they're going to bring friends. And this is also what I call what Frank Kern would call an indoctrination sequence. So as people are coming to your events, you actually get to influence their way of thinking before you ever make a pitch. And it's a lot easier to influence someone's way of thinking when you're taking a teacher positioning than when you're taking a salesperson positioning. So That's kind of the big picture. And I guess when it comes to Meetup, this is the misconception that I think a lot of people have. They think that the number of sales they make is the offer that they have multiplied by their sales skill. And so they're working to just increase their sales skill over and over and over. But that's not the whole story. There's also the number of prospects that you get in front of, right? And this is where I think it was Jim Rohn who said, if your skill level is that you close 9 out of 10 people, and mine is that I close 1 out of 10 people, I'll still beat you because you'll talk to 10 people and you'll get 9 started. I'll talk to 100 and I'll get 10 started. So you can outwork the lack of a sales skill just by getting in front of more prospects, which Jim Rohn put so eloquently. Yeah. But there's another one on top of this, and that is it's not how many prospects you get in front of, it's how targeted and motivated are those prospects. So if you get in front of a whole bunch of people and you have a weight loss company and you get in front of a bunch of people who don't want to lose any weight, it's not a numbers game. It doesn't matter how many people you talk to. You're just being annoying. So you also need to get in front of targeted people. And so when it comes to getting in front of targeted people, here's the way that I think about this. If you talk to anybody and you give them your presentation, and at the end you say, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not interested, 10 being I'm ready to start right now, where are you at? It would give you a number. And if they give you an 8 or a 9, it means that they probably just need a little bit more information. If they say a 6 or a 7, it's possible you could get them started, but it's going to take a lot of convincing. And again, this is cross-industry. It doesn't matter what we're talking about here. Yeah. If they give you a 1 through a 5, it's just never going to happen. I mean, even if you developed a crazy skill set where you had some way of closing them, they're just going to have buyer's remorse and want to return it because they're not your prospect. And then there's people that are 10s who are ready to join. They literally are like praying every night for what you have. And they were ready to join before you even showed it to them. Okay. So this is kind of like the scale. And what most people do is they try to increase their ability to sell so that they can start closing not only the 10s, but also the 8s and the 9s. And then they think, well, if I could just get a bit more sales training, then I could convince the 6s and the 7s. And then if I could just get a bit more sales training, maybe I convince the 4s and the 5s. And the goal is to be able to convince more people to do what they want them to do. The problem is once you convince somebody, especially in network marketing, you convince somebody to join, congratulations. Now you have to convince them to make a list, convince them to buy a product every month, convince them to call people, convince them to come to an event. Yeah. Regardless of industry, you're spending your life convincing. So instead of that, just get in front of a bunch more 10s. Just find a way to get in front of a bunch of 10s. So in this example, where I showed you the group, the value events, and the forums, well, we created a group for my friend David. He created a fitness group. And Meetup and Google dumped thousands of people into the top of this funnel for him. And of that, 372 people joined his group at the end of month number 1. So they had joined a group saying, hey, I'm interested in doing some fitness-related stuff. So those are targeted people. You could talk to a few thousand to find out, who have some interest, or you could just let Meetup funnel it for you and find the 372 that are the most interested in what you have. From there, of those 372 people, he had 4 separate events that had 106 people in total show up to them. So if the group level had 372 people, those are 372 people who are interested in losing weight. The 106 of them that showed up to an event, those people don't want to just lose weight. They're not just interested in losing weight. They want to lose weight right now, so much so that they came to an event. So now you've narrowed it even more, not to just targeted, but to targeted and motivated. And then from there, of those 106 people that showed up, 62 of them on their form circled, yes, please give me help. Please contact me. I need some help. I can't do this on my own. So rather than talking to a few thousand people and seeing who says yes and who says no and trying to work on how can I convince them, David just got in front of the 62 people who were the most likely to buy. That's leverage, and that's why I can work, a lot less hard than some other people out there and get better results. So
excellent.
We've got all those, and there's one more on here, which is trusted authority. And the amount of money people will pay you is in direct proportion to the amount of confidence that they have in you. And that's why you see these endorsements that happen where they send out one tweet and do millions in sales, it's not because those celebrities have great sales skills. I'll tell you that.
No.
It's because people look to them as an authority in that industry. And if you can get yourself into the star quadrant, now you've got that authority factor. And so here's what happens to most business owners. Right? They've got a 9 in their skill set of selling, right? And they're trying to get in front of lots of people, but they're not qualified people and they don't look at them as an authority. Over here, like if you're a 4, if you're under average in skill, under average in the amount of prospects, under average in how qualified they are, but you've actually got a little bit of qualification and a little bit of authority, your score is 256. And the person at the top here, they're trying to get their skill set up to a 10, and then they try to outwork you. And so they spend 10 times as much time and talk to a lot of prospects, and their score is 100. And you're getting 2.5 times better results by being under average at a bunch of things, just because you're getting in front of more qualified people and you're positioning yourself as an authority.
Very nice. That's a great example. Excellent. Thanks, Jimmie. But that's all the time that we have for today. And I personally want to thank you. And I know that we never get into it, but I know that you do have a webinar that people can go through. So what we'll do is, Jimmie, if you want, just post your links in the comment section of this video for your free webinar, as well as the information on your course where people can go and check it out. And if they're interested, maybe hopefully they'll go through the course and start their own meetup group where they can attract more of their ideal target market, more of their interested prospects, and then follow that sales funnel process to getting more business, more leads, more prospects, and definitely more money. But Jimmie, I just want to thank you again for being on the show. It's a pleasure having you, pleasure catching up. I know it's been way too long. So everyone give Jimmie some love by hitting that like button, love button, virtual flurry of thumbs up and heart icons across the screen. And again, Jimmie, thank you. And don't forget to post that information in the comment section. And I look forward to catching up with you again.
Thank you very much, my friend. And yeah, just find some way to get yourself from the desperation quadrant to the star quadrant, and stay tuned to everything that John teaches, because everything he's teaching is about that authority positioning, and that's going to help you in the star quadrant.
Excellent. Thanks again, Jimmie. And for everyone else, just stick around for a few minutes and I'll be back with closing remarks. Take care. Well, thanks for joining me on today's John A. McCabe Show, where we work with entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, experts, and speakers get seen, get heard, get noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device. Now, also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. Now, if you're someone who's looking to take your business to the next level and want to get some coaching advice, why not apply to be a guest on today's show? Now, for most entrepreneurs, we want to create a life of our own, create our own path, and do what we can to reach our own desired outcome, which is generally freedom. Freedom to choose what we want to do, when we want to do it, and with whom we want to do it. A life that's full of options and choices, where we worry less about money and more about the quality of time that we spend with others. Now, a great way to make that happen is to leverage other people's knowledge, time, and skill sets. Step 1 to reaching our freedom life is to realize that you can't do it alone. Working with a coach or being involved in masterminds is a great way for entrepreneurs to move their business forward. Now, a coach can help you shorten the time frame to get you from where you are to where you want to be, while being part of a mastermind is meant to bring entrepreneurs together, all with the goal of helping each other move forward with their business. Now, the second step to creating the life you envision for yourself as an entrepreneur is to implement systems into your business so you can streamline your operations, leverage systems, and free up your time to focus on your family, having fun, and the highest leverage activities in your business. You know, the activities that get you the biggest return on your time invested, the ones that truly make you money. Now, sometimes we just don't know what systems we need, how to implement those systems, or even have the time to find out what is needed. Now, working with a coach or consultant that understands, uses, and specializes in systems that can streamline your operations can help save you time, aggravation, and make you a lot more money. Now, for example, having a system or strategy that allows you to leverage just 15 hours of your time into enough repurposed content to get you seen, get you heard, get you noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device is a great example of leverage. Now, just imagine a system where you invest just 15 hours of your time, and the end result is you're a #1 best-selling author. You have enough content that's going to get you seen, get you heard, get you noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device. You have a successful podcast Now it's automatically attracting more attention, giving more value, and generating more leads, which enables you to attract an abundance of paying customers. Now this is also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. Now to find out more about the Authority Acceleration Blueprint, coaching program, or mastermind, then contact me via my website at johnamccabe.com or connect with me through my show's Facebook page. Now again, thank you for joining us on today's show, and I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's show when I have another great guest on discussing their business and accelerating their authority. So have yourself an amazing day, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon.